there, and welcome to a very special episode of the Mom Game After Dark. I'm Emily Jones. She's Julie Dobbs, and we're not together, but we're not supposed to be together because we're not supposed to be together on Mom Game After Dark. This is supposed to be nighttime at our house, and it's not exactly nighttime because it's summer, but it's still 8:00, which means it's nighttime.
It is nighttime. Oh, look at your wine glass.
Yeah, so Mom Game After we haven't had what?
We're both using our Mom Game
TMG
wine glasses.
We haven't had one of these in forever, and I'm so excited. I know, we match. And we do these thanks to our friends at Noble Vines Wine, which I'm drinking the Sauvignon Blanc, which is my favorite. And I've got 2 bottles on display behind me. The Cabernet 337 from Noble Vines. So we love Noble Vines. We love having an excuse to get together with each other. Now, especially now that we're back together in our new home, it doesn't feel so bad being apart for Mom Game After Dark, Julie.
That's true. It's like our version of a slumber party. When we do these Mom Game After Darks, we get together late at night, we drink, we giggle. Has Hattie started slumber partying yet?
Oh gosh, we just had her birthday party, and there was 20 girls here, and then 5 of them spent the night.
Oh my God. How did the 5
We
get
went
chosen?
costume taping. We did all the things. So, okay, you bring it. That's a really good point. So she knew she wanted like a big party with all the girls. We couldn't have 20 girls spend the night. That just sounds awful. And I was solo parenting, and there was no way we could do that. So basically what I did is I don't do like an Evite or a paperless post or anything fancy. I do a mass text message. And I'm like, you're invited to Hattie's party. Let me know if your girl can make it. And then I said at the very end, full disclosure, there's going to be a sleepover with some girls. I don't know. I just want you to know because, I don't want it to be awkward for anyone. So just so you know, there's going to be some sleeping over, others not, but I can't handle 20 girls spending the night in my house. And I think everyone understands and everyone understood. And I just don't know any other way to operate. Cause then it's like, oh, are you going to try to pretend and have everyone leave and then come back and not have the girls that are spending the night have their overnight bag. Like, I'm just like, I don't have the energy to keep up with anything like that.
Yeah.
So I just threw it all out there, you know, so at least she could get what she wanted for her birthday. She wanted to have a bunch of friends over. I told her we couldn't have 20 spend the night. So then she had to pare it down, and we did it from there. I haven't heard any backlash, and I don't know, whatever. If there was, I don't think there was. I mean, if someone invited Hattie like that, I'd just be like, well, sometimes you just don't, they can't, not everyone can be invited to everything all the time. Every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, that's good. That's
anyway,
probably
that's how we handled it.
Maybe a good lesson for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, rather than trying to be like, what am I going to do? Like I said, everyone leave and then come back or separate nights. Like, I don't have separate nights during baseball season. I can't, can't have 2 parties. Like, it's just no. Yeah. So anyway, it all worked out great. It was a complete S show for a little while, and cleanup was woo. But it's sleepovers are a thing. Henry's not really big on sleepovers. Hattie would have a sleepover basically every night of her life if she could, either here or at someone else's house. Henry's just kind of like, I'd just rather sleep in my own bed.
Yeah. Ryder's just started it. He had someone spend the night last weekend. Like, he's got one little best friend, and anytime they are playing in the evening, one of them's going to ask, and we're usually like, whatever, it's fine. I came home last Friday night after being at the Freak remote, and then we went to dinner. We had a little like Freak mini bonding night, and I came home early because I was tired and I was so ready to bed, and I came home and there's this 2 little 7-year-old boys upstairs at 10:45 playing with their wrestling guys. And I went up there, I was like, what's going on? And his little friend couldn't sleep, so I had to call his mom at like 11:45. I felt so bad, but he was not going to sleep, and he was asking me to call his mom. So we're just getting going on the slumber parties.
Yeah. Okay. So as soon as you said that, I did remember. So Friday, Hattie, a friend of mine, helped with Hattie, and she has an older daughter that's Henry's age, actually. And Hattie hung with her all day and then planned to spend the night, which I thought she'd be super excited about. But then she texted me at 11:45 and is like, Mommy, are you home from work? And I'm like, yeah, why? she's like, I don't know if I want to spend the night. I think she was just exhausted and wanted to get a good night's sleep in advance of her birthday. So she was like, can you come get me? And I was like, oh, and thankfully they live literally like 3 minutes away. So I was like, yes, I'll come get you. I wanted her to get a good night's sleep and not be a complete bitch for her birthday. So I did that. So it's not all the time with her, but the vast majority of the time she wants to be hanging with friends, and that's totally fine. You know, especially summertime, it's like, just have fun, be a kid. We don't have, we're finally done with sports, which is what we're going to talk a lot about tonight, is youth sports. We are finally done. We have said goodbye. It is in the rearview mirror for the year or season or whatever you call it. And I am so glad. It's just time. It's time for them. It's time for me. It's time for Mike. Like, it's time for us to have a break from practices and stressing about games and coaching. And it's just, it became a lot this season, I think, just because my kids are getting older. And then two, with me coaching Hattie's softball team. And then I went on to coach her all-star team, which I didn't have any experience with. And that was something, Julie. It was
okay. So we've been wanting to. I want to hear all about it.
I mean, there's just no other way around it. Yeah, they're insane. Almost not all of them. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
So I really want to hear about the All-Star game. And we've been wanting to talk about youth sports on here for a while, because I feel like majority of parents have kids that play sports of some sort, whether it's just one off season and then they realize they don't like it or whatever. They've experienced it to some level. And even when you just start, you experience a little bit of, I think it's always a little bit more intense than you expect. And then the older that the kids get, the more intense it gets. And then it just gets outright insane. And so in just a couple of minutes, I have somebody joining us. His name is Chris Hauser, and he coaches Ryder's baseball team. And he is just like one of those dads that was born to coach, was born to coach kids. He played baseball at the University of Texas. He's so into baseball. He's so good with the kids, and he coaches, I think, like every chance that he can get. And he's seen a lot. He has an older one too, than Ryder, that she's probably about Henry or Hattie, or he's probably Henry or Hattie's age. We'll ask. So he's gonna, since it's Mom Game After Dark, we're very casual, so he'll probably just pop up here in the middle of us talking. But I wanted to give that warning to people listening, and I think he's gonna provide some valuable insight, because now you're a coach, but I know it like from a parent's perspective, and he can talk to us from a coach's perspective, and I think he's gonna have a lot of stories to tell us. I'm excited. Oh, there he is.
Okay, so one thing that I will admit to. Oh, hey.
Hey.
All right, right on time. What's
up, Coach Chris?
What's going on? How are we?
We were just talking about you.
Dear.
We were.
Yeah. No, all good things. I don't know anything about you other than the glowing things Julie just said. So it's wonderful to meet you.
Okay, it's wonderful to meet you. Julie, can you repeat, please?
You want me to tell you everything to your face? Nice. Yes, Emily,
Later.
meet Chris. Chris, meet Emily. So, Chris, what I was just saying with Em, and by the way, this is our nighttime version of our podcast. It's very casual, as you can see. Emily and I are drinking our Noble Vines wine, because that's our wonderful sponsor for these nighttime episodes. And so we just want to chat, man. And we've been wanting to talk. Yeah, we've been wanting to have like a youth sports episode now for a while. And I think I've mentioned this to you a couple of times, and we're finally doing it. But what I was just saying is that I feel like almost every parent, it's got to be like 80% of them, have a kid that plays a sport at least once, like one season, right? Sure. And tries it out and finds out if it's for them or not for them. But if they like it, they keep doing it. And as they get older and older and older, it gets more intense. And it's just kind of crazy, and it's fun. We love it, but it's a little crazy. And so Emily, she just experienced for the first time coaching her daughter Hattie's softball team. And then Chris, the All-Star team, the All-Star softball team. And I know that Emily has some crazy stories about parents and everything else. So I thought we have to bring Chris in, because Chris is not only just a wonderful guy, but he has 3 kids. They all play sports, and he is somebody that I think just seems like he was born to coach these kids. He's so good at it, so good with the kids. And you played baseball in college at the University of Texas. So I thought your perspective would be very valuable here.
Yeah, I will pause there. Ironically, so I coached my oldest, Will. I coached his all-star teams all the way through. I got a call on Saturday, and they said, "Will you coach Reed's all-star?" And I declined, and I felt so bad about it. But I just wanted,
Why did you decline?
because I want to enjoy a child, if that makes sense. It gets so chaotic and crazy, and we may or may not get into that. But literally the first one, I felt like I didn't get to just enjoy the moment and just be a part of it and have fun with it, because you're worried about who's pitching next, and is little Johnny's mom about to get mad at me, and I'm going to get yelled at after the game because I'm a volunteer coach. And I have some crazy, crazy stories too, maybe like you, Emily, that I might not share tonight, but we'll share at some point, to where it gets nuts. So I just really wanted to embrace the moment.
Yeah. Is he freezing on you, Em?
Oh, am I frozen?
No, you froze, but now you're back.
Frozen for a minute.
Okay, I'm good. I'm good. Y'all were frozen, and I knew it was me.
You're thawed out. Everyone's thawed out.
Go.
No more
Hopefully.
freezing.
They have me stuck in the laundry room, if you can't tell yet. So
I'm sure Emily appreciates your
so Chris, first
locker,
of all,
though.
First one,
the laundry room
I
locker.
Do. I love I love me some organization.
Yes, let's go. Emily, what were you going to ask?
Well, I was going to ask, first of all, I think it's great that you said no. Like, good for you for wanting to just enjoy it. And second of all, how old are your kids, and what sports do they play?
Yeah, so my oldest is going into 8th grade, so he's 13. He's a baseball, football, basketball guy. Our daughter is 11. She's going into 6th. She is cheer, and then you name it, whatever else is going on, volleyball, basketball, soccer. And then our youngest, who plays with Ryder, Julie's son, he's kind of, they play everything right now. So it is chaotic in our house these days. But yeah, they play everything, basically.
And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I am 32. I'm kidding. I am 45, and it's happening.
Okay, so we're the same age.
Yeah.
So we're the same age. Okay, so one thing that like the first thing as a sports mom that like before my kids started playing, and I started seeing like on social media, I would see like these kids with like rings and like holding them out, and I'm like, that is ridiculous. And you should never get a ring until you win a state championship. And that is just, my child will never. Okay, well, let me, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4.
Yep.
Not
all right,
5.
LeBron.
Henry has 15. He's about to turn 12. He has 15 of the most obnoxious rings you'll ever see in your entire life. And you know what? Amen to it. Hi, buddy. He knows I'm talking about it. I mean, these are ridiculous and obnoxious, but you know what? As someone who has severe OCD, the fact that they're not trophies and taking up room in my house, I'm like, right? Yes. And they love them. And so they do it. They win and they take a picture with the rings and they get all excited. And I just ate every bit of crow that I ever put out there, which is what I've done basically the entire time I've been a parent, is say I'm not going to do something, and then shit happens and then I do it. And so that, to me, I just thought, God, I just turned into that, like, the mom that's posting the pictures of the kids with the rings and all that kind of stuff. But it does bring, they I don't know. I was like, well, shit, there I go again. I'm just going to have to eat it on this one, just like I have on a million other things. But as I know for you playing in high school and college, like, I mean, my husband won a state championship his senior year, and that was like he has a ring from all of his years of playing baseball, like that state championship ring, and it's very special and all that kind of stuff. But it's just not the way it is. Did it take you a while as kind of an old school parent to swallow that one like it was for me?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say, first of all, from a kid's perspective, growing up this day and age, they, first of all, to win a tournament these days at a higher level is super tough. But to your point, every kid gets a ribbon type deal. So there's kind of a, it's tit for tat, if you will. But I'll tell you what's funny for me. So my senior year at UT, we made it to the College World Series. And it was kind of a 2-and-Q type deal. We didn't light it up, but we made it. And our coach was like, "Hey, should we get a ring?" And some of the younger guys are like, "No, we got smoked in the World Series." And the older guys, I'm like, "I'm done, you idiot. Give me a ring." So all that to say, I didn't get many, but these kids, I get it from a perspective when you think about, especially as they get older. I'm not sure, Emily, how old your kids are, but once you start getting into junior high and high school, it's there's some battles going on out there. So for them to win a ring there is awesome. But yes, when they're 7 and 8, and every kid gets something, I'm absolutely out on that.
Well, and it's not, Henry's not, so Henry's about to be 12.
Okay.
He's 11 years.
Yeah.
But he's not to the age where they all get a ring, but if you make it to the championship game, so first and second,
finalist,
and that's the way it is. That's the way it is for Hattie's grade 2. She just turned 10.
Correct.
And so that's the way it is. You make it to the championship game, you get these rings. But like I said, I was cursing it. But then, I've seen some of little, when he was really younger, he would get little trophies. And I'm like, where are we going to put these things? They are cramping my style. And so now I'm just like, he has a little safe that he puts them in and breaks them out for
Your
special
CD
occasions.
Jump in there.
Right? So anyway,
right.
But that is one thing I just wanted to call myself out on, because I would be like, this is so obnoxious. These parents posting these pictures of these kids and they're so little with these big rings. And then here I am 15 rings later and I'm like, screw it. Who cares?
Yeah.
I love it.
Julie, does Ryder have any rings yet?
No. I know we talked about after the little Brave season, maybe doing something like that, but I'm sure he hopefully has. Hopefully not. Hopefully, I don't really care, but I'm sure there will be some rings in his future or something. He's our little Ryder's my oldest. Chris's youngest is the same age, and they're just at this really fun age where they just are figuring it all out. They're just learning what sport they like, what they're good at, what they want to play, and I think all of us parents are trying our hardest to just make it all happen as long as they want to play. Those certain sports. Like Ryder played 4 or something, and I don't know if he is ready to cut any out. So I'm like, all right, well, we will adjust our life so you can keep doing these sports because they're fun. And it's a great learning experience and everything else. Okay, so I know you have a story from coaching the All-Star game with Hattie, and I want to hear some of Chris's war stories. I think we got to get right to it with some of the crazy S that you guys see
for sure
when you're coaching these kids.
Well, first, okay, but keep in mind, before we let Chris go at any point tonight, I've got to know what kind of a sports parent Julie is. I need to know. So let's just keep that in mind, in the back of your mind. I need to know if she's yelling, screaming, yelling at you, if you're getting text messages about how Ryder needs to be playing more. I mean, all that kind of stuff.
Ryder should be batting cleanup.
We'll talk about that later.
Yes. So where we play softball, so I've coached Hattie's softball team for 2 years. Where we play softball is at University Little League in Fort Worth. Love them. They've been wonderful to us as far as helping the girls get making an environment for them to play, because it's the only place, the other little league in town, or a couple of the other little leagues in town, don't offer it. So I am so grateful to ULL for, making it to where these girls can play. And so the All-Star thing came up, and so they were asking for coaches, and I'm like, I will be happy to coach. I am, held hostage by the Rangers schedule. I don't even know if I can be at all the games, but I will do my best to get everything organized and, uniforms ordered, all that kind of stuff. So it turns out we are playing in the Weatherford Invitational Tournament, and there are a total of 3 teams playing. So 3 teams. And so 2 of those teams are ULL teams. One is the 3rd grade team with predominantly all 3rd graders. And then one is the 2nd grade team with predominantly 2nd graders, maybe a couple 3rd graders. So we go and play our first game against Weatherford, and we're winning pretty good. These girls that I'm coaching all have, this is their second year to play softball, and so all of a sudden there's like this chatter with the lady keeping the score and the other coach, and there's chatter among the parents, and I'm coaching at first base, and I'm like, finally after like 2 minutes, I was like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, this game is being played under protest, and I was like, oh, okay, what are we protesting? We need to do an investigation because apparently one of your girls is 10 years old. And I was like, oh, well, no need for an investigation. All of our parents are right here in the stands. Who are you asking about? And they're like, this girl right here that was playing pitcher last game. And I was like, oh, hey, Brad, how old is Lucy? And 10. I'm like, she's 10. No need for an investigation. Like, what are we going to do? They're like, well, this is an 8U tournament. And I'm like, oh, well, shit, she's not 8, nor is she 9. And so anyway, so I was like, so what do we want to do here? Like, I was like, let me just tell you something, like pulling one over in a 3-team softball all-star tournament really isn't my style. Not trying to hide anything. I was like, so do we want to stop playing? I was like, we only have 3 teams in this thing. I mean, are we going to call it right now? What do you want to do? They're like, well, we might have to reverse the score. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just keep playing. Y'all can win if you want, whatever. So then we finish. I talked to the coach and I'm like, dude, I just want the girls to play. Like I don't take it this seriously. I promise. And anyway, so the coach was super, super nice. So then we go round and round with like the woman organizing the tournament, who also I appreciate because she's trying to provide us a place to play. But I'm not lying to you. When there was 80 text messages and my head was about to explode, and about how to do it. I was like, how about if I was like, we're not going to play without her. It's not fair. She's only going to play one more game. She's about to go to camp. Like what? But we'll take an out every time she comes up, and she can only play catcher or outfield. Like, or what do you want to do? You want to tie her legs together? Do you want, you want to put a blindfold on her? Like whatever. Just tell me what you want to do. So it's fair, whatever. So then we finally come to the conclusion. So what happened was, and this is also a problem, where there's no universal rules, I don't think, for softball where there is for baseball. So like for us at ULL, we don't start pitching until Hattie will start pitching this season. Well, at Weatherford, they start pitching the year before. So she was like, y'all should have been playing minors. I'm like, but my girls don't know how to pitch. They've never pitched. So we couldn't play there. That's why we played in the coach pitch. So anyway, it was a big misunderstanding. But bottom line is everyone just wanted the girls to play, but the dramatics that unfolded with like a physical protest, like handed to the ump, and then the lady running the tournament and the investigation. And I was like, holy shit, what have we gotten into here? So anyway, it all ended up being okay. And there was more drama later that I don't even really have the energy to get into, but it just was like, I don't know. That's a problem too, I think, with softball in this area, is that there's no universal rules. And I feel like there is with baseball, to where everyone's kind of on the same page, where you start, you're at T-ball, and then you're at coach pitch, and then you're at kid pitch. It's all kind of very uniform. Whereas in softball, it's not. And so that's what made us big bad cheaters in the All-Star tournament, the 3-team All-Star tournament, I might add.
Here's what I've seen as my oldest has gotten older is the parents are crazy. I mean, it is the escalations and the things that happen. There's no need for it, but a lot of it is folks that, just aren't educated, and they're just living off emotions, and how they respond. Some of the things I've seen is absolutely nuts. You asked Julie or Emily about, some of my experiences I had. So as Emily will know, they will call you or send an email and reach out and say, would you be willing to coach the All-Star team? And so I'm coaching this team. This is probably, once again, Will's 13 going on 14. So this is probably 5 years ago. I say, yes, I'll coach this team. And we get to game 3 or so, and game 4, we're up 3-0. We're about to win this thing. And I get absolutely chewed out. My dad had come into town. He lives in Frisco, but he had come in to watch his grandson play and all that fun stuff. And after the game, I get this guy just comes up at me. I'm like, are we about to fight? Like, what's about to happen here?
Oh my
And
gosh.
he is going nuts on why I haven't caught his son, played his son at catcher. He said he is the only 5-year Dallas Classic Baseball All-Star kid, and just reams me. Well, the funny part about this, he's left-handed. There's not many left-handed catchers in this world, so why would I know that he's a left-handed catcher? And anyway, he lets me have it, and then starts to walk off, and I let him know that you can't just come up to me and yell at me and then walk off, so I need to tell you a couple of things. But yeah, it is parents' behavior has just got nuts. I saw on social media today, it must have been 10-year-olds, 11, 12. Y'all might have seen this. But a kid's coming in. He's coming around third, and the catcher has the ball, and he like almost kind of runs over him, but just kind of runs into him. You got to slide. You slide until you get into pro baseball. You slide through college. Well, the catcher's kind of like, hey, what did you just do? And the dude that ran into him literally punches the catcher in the face at 11 years old. And I'm just, it has gotten absolutely out of control. So there we go, Julie. More to come on that.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and I feel like so I will say this too, though, like as a coach, like when I'm coaching Hattie's team, I'm 10 times more calm than I am when I'm watching Henry play, because I know the girls are looking at me. I know the girls are watching how I'm acting and how I'm reacting to things. And if I lose my shit, how can I expect them not to lose theirs? Right. And so I feel like I'm way more mild mannered because I'm a competitive human at my core. And so is my husband. So are both of my children. God bless them. Yep. But I feel like as a coach, you can't, it makes you so much more accountable. Because they are looking at you, to keep you in check. To where even if you are like boiling on the inside, you really have to like keep your calm on the outside because they're looking at you. Especially, I don't know. That was very, very important to me. I'm not saying I would always be that way. I don't know how long my coaching career is going to last, but I will say, I mean, I've had moments as a parent, and then I feel terrible forever even admitting this or, doing it. But there have been times where I've chirped at umps, like, not like mean or being berating or anything like that, but like, if Henry's pitching and the strike zone's all over the place, I'll chirp. And then I'm like, dude, we've got major league umpires that are getting shit wrong on a daily basis. Like, why am I chirping
Isn't
at
it
this
weird?
guy who's getting paid probably $50-$100 a game in the freaking scorching heat? And he's, why? Shut your mouth, Emily. Like, just shut your mouth. But you're torn on this, like where you're trying to let your kid know that you're, I don't know. It's like, you're just like, I'm not, but I mean, I've never been like mean or berating or anything like that, but I'm like, I should just probably keep my mouth shut. And if I have something to say it to Henry, encourage him, and keep my mouth shut about the umps. But I feel like the umps wear it so much, and it's so bad. And it's, it's
Chris,
just,
what's
it's
your
like
approach to
to
that?
watch and
like,
listen to.
What's your approach to the umps? You're obviously so calm with it, but like if you see a parent going at an ump, or if you see an ump that's stressing out, or on the other side, an ump that's making like really bad calls, like how do you handle that whole situation?
Yeah, so I think that there's a lot of layers there, right? So I won't let a parent get on. I mean, of course, people are going, come on, Blue, let's go, whatever.
Yeah.
That's life. But I would not be okay with a parent getting on an umpire at any level. At our age, where we are with Ryder and Reed, and here's what's funny. If I rewind the clock back when Will was that age, it meant a lot more to me, if I'm being very transparent, because it's your first one. You don't know. And now I'm just like, who cares what happens? Who cares if he strikes out 10 people or walks 10 people? But back then, I can understand how people get emotionally invested. I would say, listen, for me, my deal with umpires is, if you're locked in the game, you can be bad and just be bad. That's fine. Where I do struggle, you have some umpires who they might as well be on a beach as much as they are locked and engaged. I don't give umpires any crud. I really don't. So it's a tough one because I recognize what they get paid, how challenging it is to get these fields filled with umpires. So you got to
Oh
kind of
yeah.
take it with a grain of salt. I would say as they get older, 15, 16, 17, 18, that's where it's like, okay, know the rules. Because I see folks that don't know what an NFL flag rule is right now, even at Will's, 14-year-old level. And he plays on a highly competitive team. But it's for me, it's like pick your battles, have grace. But at some point, they got to do their job. You can't pretend to be a cashier and never ring up chicken and collect money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, what kind of a sports parent is Julie?
If I make it on time to the
Out of
game.
control.
Out of control.
Helicopter.
I knew it. I knew it.
Helicopter-ish. She
knew it.
comes over to the dugout to see where Ryder is in the lineup and
Mhm.
Coach, why aren't you doing? I'm kidding. They are awesome. We got lucky with them. Y'all had come into the neighborhood and we got hooked up through a random connection, and we just love Julie and Kelly and all the kids, all of
Yeah.
them. They've been a blessing. She's awesome, just like she is on this podcast.
Oh, that's very sweet.
I know, but you will notice though, Julie, as the kids get older, you become more invested. I feel like every year you become, because every year they keep doing it, they care about it more, they love it more, and it means more to them. And then so it just like it by osmosis just pours into you. I mean, I cannot tell you, like, and Chris, you're probably the same way with older kids. Like, I feel like a huge sense of relief that this baseball softball season is over. It ended on Father's Day, and it didn't end necessarily the way we wanted for Henry. He played in a tournament and they didn't win, but I just was like, the fact that we don't have, we have some time to where there's no practice and there's no stressing about, he needs to get in the cage. I want to get in the cage. I want to do this. And needing to perform and and setting this ridiculously high expectation for himself that stresses me out as his parent. I'm like, fuck, I just want you to be a kid and just go swing a bat and hit a ball.
Yes.
But it's not. He's so invested in it that therefore I am too, because I want to support him. And so there's kind of like this exhale where it's like, okay, now just go fucking be a kid, and stop worrying about this, stop worrying about your stats and your numbers and all that kind of stuff, because you don't want them to do that as a parent. You don't want them to stress. It's like you're 12.
Yeah.
Just chill.
Chris, how do you handle that? Because all your kids are really good. All his kids are really good at things, as you can imagine. How do you handle that? Like letting them be a kid versus practicing all the time?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's funny. Good question. And the point Emily brings up. So we played this weekend with Will's squad. And then we were supposed to play the next weekend. And a lot of the kids are doing the World Series. Julie, it'll make sense later. And there's not enough teams to make our final tournament. So this weekend will be our last. And to Emily's point, I was just like, thank you, Jesus. Let's move on. Let's rock and roll. This is awesome. Where some parents are like, oh, let's find another one. And I'm like, no, because there is a lot of stress and pressure. I tell you, Julie, for me, and I'm lucky with my kids, and they learn from Will. He asks, so he's like, Dad, let's go hit soft toss. Dad, can I throw a bullpen? Dad, let's do this. And I never ever say no, but I also never ever say let's go. So it's 100% their call, and if they ask, let's rock and roll. Reese he follows Bubba, right? Like whatever Big Brother does, he wants to do. But we're still not at that space. But with the older one, he's driving the bus. So if you want to get great and see what happens, let's go. And
I think that you bring up an important point, and that's the same way with Henry. Like we're always. I mean, Mike has told, because Mike didn't play D1. He played 1 year at Grayson, but
I know Grayson.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to make you but not the problem. The great thing is that literally it's every day. I want to go to the cage. I want to hit. I need to hit. I want to hit. And so it's like, I appreciate that. And I love that, but I'm like, fuck, I don't have an hour and a half to do a round trip. And then, I mean, and me throwing, batting practice is not a pretty thing. And so, Mike does it so much. And then sometimes, but like you said, when they say, I want to do it, then it's like, you feel like, I really, like you said, if they're driving the bus, like, let's go. But that is one thing I will never, it's so I'll tell you this. I think I told Julie this story. So with Hattie, she's super competitive and she's just naturally athletic at this age, compared to her peers. And so, not saying she's better than them, just saying she's athletic. That came off really weird. So anyway, she plays soccer, like when she's like 5 or 6 something. And she goes out in the first game and she scores like 6 goals. And she's like, this is amazing, and then we play the second game to win big. She scores a couple, whatever. So then the third game, we're just getting our asses handed to us. And she comes up and like halftime and she beelines over and she's like 6 years old. And she's like, Mommy, I do not want to lose this game. And I was like, oh my God, she's got it. She's got it.
Oh,
she's competitive.
no.
She's
they
competitive.
all have
she's
it.
competitive. This sucks. Like,
she's in
I
trouble.
thought she was going to be my chill kid. Yes. And so, so soccer, like you said, if you're not driving the bus, we're not doing it. So soccer, one year she was like, I don't think I want to play soccer anymore. I'm like, sweet. And I was like, why don't you want to play? And she was like, I mean, do you know how hard it is to take off those shin guards every game? They're so sweaty. And I was like, I agree. You should definitely not play soccer anymore. So she hasn't played soccer since then. But I'm like, if you're not into it, we're not doing it. I'm not forcing you. Same way with dance. We ditched dance so early on because she was like, yeah, this isn't really that fun. And I'm like, good, because it's not that fun for mommy either. We're out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a great point to bring up, that you let the kids drive the bus.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So Emily, Chris is one of the, I swear,
Julie,
you're one of the best.
I feel like we've been dominating the sports conversation over here.
No, it's good. Chris is one of the best coach pitchers in all the land. I swear. Every pitch is a strike.
Okay.
Every
is
kid
Julie wasted or just freezing?
Probably both.
Julie, Are you hammered or frozen?
Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm glad that wasn't just me. But
can you hear me?
It sounded like this. You're like the best pitcher. Every pitch is a strike. It's awesome.
So now that I do a morning show, I'm just like always half asleep.
I think you were frozen.
Okay. No, I was going to say he's like the best coach pitcher in all the land. Every single boy was killing it this year. And I swear I was like telling the moms, I was like, I mean, the boys are like hitting well, but like this is Chris. Like when you look at some of the other pitchers, I think the coach pitching thing, oh my gosh, I would have so much anxiety. Like, everybody's watching you and you have to throw good pitches to the little kids, but Chris is so good at it.
That has to be the most stressful, high pressure job in America.
Which, going back to why I said I don't want to do it, I just want to enjoy watching my kid, that's 40% of it. You're exactly right. You got, especially the all-stars, you got grandmas and uncles, you got 60 people out there watching little Johnny, and I roll 8 balls in there.
Oh, gosh.
They don't like it.
We did have a moment.
Have you ever hit a kid?
Have I? Yes. And half the time it's on purpose.
Who'd you hit this year? Do you remember?
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint.
Probably my son.
I'll give you a hint.
You hit
Ryder?
He lives in my house.
Did I get him?
Do you remember? I was laughing so hard. I actually have a video of it because I was obviously recording his at bat or whatever, and Kelly and I were laughing so hard about it that night. I was like, no, this is good for Ryder. And he was so tough. He was like trying so hard, I think, because he was like, trying to play it off or whatever, but it was a good one. And other than that one, everything Chris throws is perfect. And then you got hit. You got hit this season, Chris. I'm sure that happens quite a lot. Reed hit you, remember?
My son, do I remember? I'm glad I'm done having kids. It was pretty violent, but for the most part, I'm still agile enough to get out of the way. But on that one, not so
Oh
much.
my gosh, what a tough
What
job.
sucks about coach pitch is if you get hit by a pitch, you don't even get to take first base.
I know.
Yes, exactly. And if the pitcher gets hit, he doesn't get to do anything either. It's terrible.
Seriously.
No,
Oh,
it
Lord.
was so fun. I know Chris probably has to get back to his house full of kids and his sweet wife and everything else, but I just thought it'd be fun to have your perspective join the show and talk a little bit about the crazy coach life, parent life, everything else. So we're so happy that you joined us. It was fun to bring you into my world a little bit.
Of course, thank you. And I'm a mom game fan.
I'm sure it was great to go to the College World Series, but I bet you don't have anything like this, Chris.
Now Emily's drunk.
There's no doubt. Well, and what I would say too with Norm going out, I know y'all had to offer me a little bit more to come on tonight than to have him with this farewell tour, but I appreciate the time with y'all.
Well, you were awesome. Thanks so much I feel like you brought some perspective and sanity to our crazy sports world. Thanks for making me, and you made me feel a little bit normal. And one other thing I was going to say, I will let you go. I'll say it.
You can say it.
But yes, thank you so much, Chris. You were awesome. Well, no, another thing, and another thing I used to say, because my sister has older kids, and they would be like, we can't do this because we have to go to this tournament or whatever. And I was like, you know what? When I'm a mother, I'm not letting my schedule be dictated by 8 and 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, you're the parent. I'm not letting a child control my schedule. I mean, for fuck's sake, they run our lives. Their sports schedules run our lives. Like, so basically I've just given up on everything I said I was not going to do as a parent. And here I am, just like running to batting cages and putting off vacations and saying no to shit that I really want to do because my kids got games.
Yep.
And all these damn rings, all of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, the rings. It always goes back to the rings. And so true. But we will miss this in about 5 years.
I know.
7 years.
I'm going to enjoy it. Well, and especially what I do for work. Like, I miss a lot of stuff. So anything I can be at, I want to be at.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Chris.
Love it. Okay, y'all are awesome. Keep doing a great job, and let me know if we need, husband advice on a next show, something of that nature. I'm happy.
Okay, we'll bring you back. We'll bring you back for sure. Chris, thank you so much. Tell the family
when we need an all-star coach in Fort Worth. I'll put you first on my list for the all-star
let me
team
know.
in
I'll
Fort
be
Worth.
there.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, bye, y'all.
Bye, Chris. That was fun.
Yeah, he's so fun.
Are you embarrassed of me?
No. You're good.
You had to think about it for a minute.
No, that was funny though. He forgot he did peg Ryder this year.
So hilarious.
I think I should.
And that does suck because they don't even get to take a base.
I know.
Just like, I'm just gonna wear it, and I got to take another pitch.
Right. And then he struck out, and he was like on a 9-game or a 9 at-bat hitting streak or whatever. So that ended it. Like after he got pegged. No, Chris is so sweet.
And this reminds me, he's awesome. This reminds me, so he was talking about getting hit as a pitcher though. Like, I think he got hit in the nuts.
He did.
It sounded like
badly.
I'm going to see if I could get permission. Okay. I'm going to see if I can get permission. I have a friend who he got hit, and we have at ULL, we have these cameras that are like, I guess, recording not at all times, but they're always up there. Mm-hmm. So you can hit record. Anyway, there was a team practicing, and there was a dad and his kid, and he just gets, just hit right where it hurts.
So one of the one pitching
lays on the ground for like a really long time. Yes. So I'm going to see if he'll allow me, because it didn't it didn't go on social media or whatever, but I'm going to see if he'll let me share it with our mom game audience, because it does give you an appreciation.
You should share that, and then
pitchers go through.
Right, you can share that, and I'll share the one.
And then you can share Ryder getting hit.
Yeah, because I have it. It's real.
We could do it. Yeah, I'm sure Ashley, our sweet producer, is listening, and her wheels are spinning on how we can do something fun with this.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, what did you think about my all-star story? There's more to it, but literally we don't have time. I'll tell you about it on the mom game, like when we do regular mom game at some point
Okay.
when
Yeah.
we're bored.
Well, I was just
So much
picturing like
trauma. So much
you.
trauma. That's just too, it's people. It's just too people are taking it too serious.
I was picturing you trying to, or like being able
No,
to handle
Julie, I
that.
know you don't believe me, but
No, I believe you being calm about it,
I know
but
you
you're
don't believe me,
you're
but
so
I'm
matter
really,
of
really
fact about
calm.
it. Like, I believe that you were calm because you were probably like, I can't handle this, so let's just figure this out in a normal way. And maybe the other people weren't doing that because they're so obsessed with the kids stuff, but you're like, I have a million other things going on in my life that are more important than this. Not even
And
important,
that's
just
kind of
like,
what I was like. I
yeah.
was like, I just don't really have time
Well,
for all
I don't.
this. Like, yeah.
People get so into
Yeah,
this
we can.
stuff.
There's many more.
Do you?
But yeah, listen. I also don't want to act like I haven't acted a fool as a parent in the stands. Like I have been like, that's a creep. That was a strike, or that was a ball.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like I'm not going to pretend like I haven't ever done that. So it's not like I'm like, oh, look at me and my halo. Look at me, I'm such an angel.
It's
I'm
funny
not trying to
because
pretend like that. I will say though, as a coach, I'm 10 times more calm.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense, like you said, because they're all watching you. So Kelly played, hockey.
Yeah.
Growing up, he was really good and played semi-pro or whatever. I was like, I played sports, but I was like very average at pretty much everything. And neither of my kids, well, I don't know for sure about Anna yet, but we're waiting to see if Ryder has that competitive, that thing that you were talking about with Chris, like where your kid's just so into it and where your kid doesn't want to lose. Like Ryder doesn't want to lose, but we're waiting for him to be like, I want to practice all the time and I want to get better, and it's like, it's not, I don't know if it's there or not. So we're kind of waiting it out, but he wants to play all the sports and everything.
Well, but he's still early. So like Henry didn't start that until probably like 2 years ago.
Okay.
And Hattie's just she's very naturally athletic. And so, and also too, she's older than most of the girls in her grade. And so I feel like at some point it's going to catch up to her to where she's going to have to put in the extra work. She just doesn't have to right now. With Henry, he wants to practice every stinking day, which I appreciate and I love and I admire. But also too, I'm like, dude, you're 12. We've got to dial it back a notch. Like you've got to have time to be a kid and not be so,
right.
Not let this, I mean, I love that he loves it. And he's definitely like, we will support him, whatever he wants to do. But it's like, we got to find some balance to where it's like, if you don't hit every stinking day, it's going to be okay,
Right.
Which is what we're dealing with now. And now we just get a little bit of a break and,
That's good to
know.
But
I mean, if listen, it's a good problem to have. The fact that your kids want to work, your kid wants to work his ass off. Like, wow. I mean, that's a great problem to have. I'm not complaining, but it's just finding that balance because I don't want him to burn out at 12. I don't want him to put too much emphasis on this one aspect of his life to where this is what it revolves around. Because there's way of, more things and bigger deals out there than sports.
Yeah. I know. I think you see that a lot.
So,
and it starts real young.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
It does.
It's just like everything. Parenting fucking is not easy. God damn it.
It is. All of those things,
that's what we're here for.
Including all of those words. It is not easy. GD.
Yes, sorry.
It really isn't.
I usually say that.
No.
Hattie did ask me today. She said, what's your she was asking, do you cuss with the Rangers? And I'm like, yeah. Do you cuss on TV? I'm like, I can't cuss on TV. Do they cuss on TV? No. Do they cuss at you? I'm like, they don't cuss at me. Or do they cuss in front of you? And I was like, yeah. Do you cuss in front of them? I was like, yes. What's your favorite cuss word? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a favorite cuss word.
Yeah.
But it's totally the F-bomb. It's so versatile.
You do love it.
Duh.
Kelly got
love it so much.
Yeah. Kelly got caught saying freaking, and now it's like Ryder's obsessed with it. He's obsessed with that, like trying to get him to talk about that word all the time. It's like, no, I didn't.
Such an innocent stage.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Hattie's like, can I say duck? Or like, and I'm like, no. Can I say oh duck? And I'm like, no, you can't say oh duck.
Oh,
can I say oh truck? Or I don't know, everything that rhymes with buck. And I'm like, this is my fault. It's my fault. This is the bet I've made. I need to
kids.
Yeah.
Hey, who's your biggest random question? Who's your biggest like Rangers buddy this season?
Probably Nathaniel.
Yeah.
I would say Nathaniel. Yeah.
What do y'all chat about?
So random. The most random things.
I know.
We chat about his girlfriend, Brenna, because she's so cute. What else? We chat about random stuff.
He just
his
likes
brother, to chat. Who plays for the Rays. He's just easy to talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, Nate's just like super chill. He's always available, which I appreciate. He's always there. He's super honest. Like if he is pissed at himself or something, or he had a bad game the night before.
Well, that's good. I can't wait to hopefully have him on the mom
Okay,
game.
so now you're only coming through my phone. My computer just died. So I think we have to say goodbye.
I think we do too.
And you want to ask me more questions.
Random questions.
Did your computer fall asleep? I pushed the button. It's dead, Ash. It's dead. So you need to take it out. You need to be strong and be our voice and say mom game out after dark. Thank Noble Vines.
I can do that. Thank you so much to Noble Vines. You've been such wonderful partners to us now for a long time. We love getting to do these after darks that are brought to the people by Noble Vines and Noble Vines only. We love you. Some really good wine, so go get you some. Plus, we love that Noble Vines is always giving back, doing good things in the community. They support Do It for Durrett. They were out at the Colonial Golf Tournament, and they're just awesome. They like to give back, and we love them. Thank you to Noble Vines for this youth sports edition of Mom Game After Dark. And until next time, which will be soon, don't worry. We'll be back ASAP. Thanks for hanging with us in the dark tonight. We'll see you in the light soon. And until then, Mom Game out.
Mom Game out.